Hey, Mike with Rove Pest Control here. And are woodrat bot flies dangerous? Well, today's video I'm going to answer that question and go through some different facts about woodrat bot flies that you might not know, so stay tuned. Now, a lot of you may have never heard of these before, but you've maybe seen the different videos on your social media feed, right? Where the gross bugs are coming out of people's arms or out of pets' bodies or different things like that. They're kind of gross, right? But you know, if you've never seen these before, they look a lot like a cross between a bee and a fly, but they really don't act like either of those. So usually they're all black. Some of them will have stripes of like white or potentially yellow on their body as well. So again, like I said, they look very similar to a bumblebee or again, maybe like a housefly, but also, as I said, they really act like neither. You know, they're not out there hunting for nectar like bees, making honey or anything like that. They're not out there pollinating the world. Again, and they're not really like flies feeding on decaying matter, anything like that, or sugary substances. What they actually do is they really work more like parasites. And again, this video might be a little gross, so I'm sorry in advance, but typically what they'll do is they're going to lay their larvae, their eggs, near dens of wild animals. So typically you're not going to run into these on a regular basis or again in your life, but they can potentially affect your pets as well. But again, like I said, usually they're going to focus on wildlife, small mammals, so they're going to be targeting rodents, chipmunks, squirrels, rabbits, different things like that. And then as I said, what they'll do is they'll lay their eggs, their larvae, near the dens of these animals. And what happens is these small mammals, these small animals will actually inhale or breathe in these eggs, these larvae, through their nose or through their mouth. And then what happens is the eggs will actually travel under the skin. They'll typically find a home, you know, in the throat, neck area. And what they do is they'll actually start living under the skin and kind of feeding off of the host at that point. And it's going to create like a gaping wound. Like I said, it's really gross, but you know, what they do is as those larvae grow, it actually creates like a hole or multiple holes. And what happens is once that larva reaches a specific size, gets big enough, they will crawl out of the skin, but leave that gaping hole behind. Like I said, really gross, not the most exciting thing to see, but what happens again is thankfully it's usually not fatal or deadly to the hosts when they leave the body, but that gaping hole and wound stays there. It can lead to infection. It can be very painful. So again, like I said, you'll typically not see these in your home or anything like that because they tend to lay, like I said, their eggs near wildlife and dens, different things like that. But unfortunately what can happen is these can get on your pets, right? So they can eventually make their way into your home sometimes because if you're taking your dog out or your pets out, right, in the outdoors, the wilderness, we know dogs, right? They like to sniff things. They like to get into trouble sometimes. And so if they're sniffing around or engaging with a den of a wild animal, they could potentially sniff up or breathe in these eggs, the larvae as well of the woodrat bot fly. And so again, it's going to do a similar thing to your pet, right? It's going to get in there, get under the skin, create those wounds, create those holes in your pet. So again, if you suspect anything like this, you see signs of this, definitely seek out medical attention immediately for your pet. So those bot fly larvae can be removed. And then again, so they can actually seal those holes that are going to develop in the skin of your pet. So again, you can avoid infection, you can seal those as quickly as possible, avoid a lot of pain for your pets as well. In some rare cases as well, they can get into you, right? Which is even, I guess, grosser. So if it could get any more worse than that, but you could actually develop these sores and holes in these botfly larvae in your body as well. I know, unfortunately, I've seen those scrolling through on social media. People post crazy videos like that, and so you might have seen that as well, but that's actually what is going on, is those larvae are growing, creating those holes, and again, then jumping out from there once they reach that ideal size. So it's kind of a really gross pest when you think about it, but again, it works a lot like a parasite. So it looks like a fly, kind of like a bee, but acts like neither. And so they usually are dangerous to smaller wildlife animals, like I said, like rodents, and then rabbits, small mammals like that. But there is the potential that it could affect your pet, be dangerous if they encounter them, and then again, in some rare instances, they can actually get into you as a human as well, which is also extra gross. So again, hopefully you got some benefit and value out of this video. If you did, feel free to comment and share. And if you do have pest issues, hopefully not with the Woodrat Bot Fly, but other pest issues, feel free to reach out to us over at rovepestcontrol.com. And then if you happen to be a first-time customer, you can also go to rovepestcontrol.com/50 off and enter your information there to get $50 off your first service with us as well. But again, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you more soon.